debut of Kill Team. We've got the Orks versus Ultramarines. The Orks have been led into this area by Scarpa, the boss's right-hand runt. Boss Nob Skarsgate. He's been led to believe there'd be loads of squig juice to drink, but instead he's only found useless promethium. I mean, what's he going to do with that? He's found promethium and Ultramarines, an Ultramarine patrol. So the promise of a fight is the only thing that has saved the little runt hide. Okay, so for the mission we're playing Sweep and Clear. It's the first out of the match play mission set, and this is the deployment. So it's in quarters, and then there's 4 objectives basically in a circle in the middle, just about. So I've caught up the board. The objectives are here, there's one just behind that orc in the distance, and the last one is just there. So 4 objectives. Each objective at the end of the game is worth 3 victory points, and you also gain a victory point for every model you take out of action with a killing blow, if you will. And yeah, so the other stipulation to this mission is as soon as you break, the game's over and you've lost. So whoever stays strong here might just take the day, whatever the victory points may turn out to be. So we've already done the rolls for deployment, clearly. The Orcs got to pick the corner with the silo. That's where they thought all the squig juice was, and it just turns out to be useless promethium to the Orcs. But they do have a fight on the hands, which they're equally glad about. So this is Kill Team Paladros, led by Sergeant Marius Paladros. He's the veteran sergeant in the centre there. So we'll go through the Kill Team. We'll cover the basic entities first. So we've got 2 bog standard scouts just with bolt guns, and then we've got intercessor just plain there. So the specialists that we'll have, we've of course got our leader, and he's got a bolt rifle. He's also got a power sword on his belt just behind him. There it is, if you can see it. We've got a combat specialist. So his natural skill is he gets +1 attack, so he's noted by the little extra purity seal he's got on his shoulder, and his name is Aganathio Castigan. Right, so we've got a sniper as well. It's this guy. He is Gaius Varanus. His natural ability as a sniper is he rerolls 1s to hit. So you do have also a tactic to go with them as well, which you can play. We might see that in the game, or we probably will, because they're pretty good. And the sergeant, we've covered him. So the last one is the demolitions expert, Andrus Apollon. He's a demolitions expert, so he's got the Auspex in his hand. He scans the terrain, and what that allows him to do is it gives him +1 to wound enemies in cover. So he's a bit of a specialist, that guy. Reads the building, fires the perfect shot.
Right, so we've got Skarsgate's mob here, and there's Skarsgate. He's the leader. He's got a power claw. Next to him we've got a medic. He's called Snippet. And next to him we have a sniper. He's got a big shooter, Mr. Bad Eye. And Mr. Big Shot there with the def gun. He's a heavy. And we've got 4 Gretchen. We've got 3 shooter boys, a big shooter boy, and 4 Orcs with slugger and chopper.
Ultramarines are in this corner, and we are set up like this. So we've got basic intercessor there. We've got the combat specialist here, sergeant just there, 2 plain scouts just here, and then up top we've got the demolitions expert and the sniper. And so for the Orcs, we've got 2 boys here. There's a grot in the centre, shooter boy there, and then we've got the surgeon just behind the boss nob leader. There he is with his lion grunt Scarpa, and then there's another grunt, another orc boy, and then 2 orc boys behind them, behind the wall, and then 1 in the distance. And then the specialists are up top here. So we've got the sniper. He's the one with the big shooter. He's got a grot next to him. The heavy is the looter, and then there's another big shooter there. He's just he hasn't got any skills, but you probably won't be upset about that. Okay, and we did do the scout phase before we deployed, but it was voided. It was nulled by the Orcs. Picked a 2, which is plant traps, and the Ultramarines disarmed the traps. So that's why there's nothing to mention there. So no extra scout rules in play because we've cancelled it out. Ultramarines have the inside knowledge on what the Orcs are about. Alright, so for the first time we're going to roll off, see who gets initiative and who starts off the turn. So the Orcs get a big 10, Ultramarines come away with an 8, so Orcs move first. Okay, so the Orks moving phase. So the game may change, but the Ork tactics never do. They all surge forward in the centre here. So the boss, he's up there. He's got a power claw, so it's incredibly dangerous to the Primus Marine. So he's a real danger man. He's got his grot on his shoulder. He's got 2 Ork boys and the surgeon with him as well. So they've just all advanced. Sorry, they didn't advance. They just moved forward. These have moved, so they still can shoot. Ork, well, as well as an Ork can shoot at that range. Okay, this Ork's just moved forward from the gantry support, just to there, and then this lot have advanced. So the Grot can still fire, he's got an assault weapon, but these two, it's getting as close as they can with their choppers and sluggers, ready to try and get to the scouts, perhaps even go up top for the 2 specialists. So they've got ambitions. And then on top here for the Orks, all of the shooters go on ready. So all 3 ready to just open fire. I want to hear that loud da. Okay, so the Ultramarines respond with their movement. So there's 2 options. You can stand and fight, or you can try and drop back and just create a little bit of distance to the Orks. So we're electing to stand and fight. So we've got the basic tactical here, and then the specialist, both ready and up there. They can get some good shots on a selection of Orks there. I'm going to try and look at that. The sergeant takes a step back. He's not feeling so confident with a power claw. Very close, so he's just taking a step back, showing everyone why he's a veteran. He cares about his life. And this guy goes on ready. The sniper steps forward. We're both going to get shots over at that main collection in the centre. And then the 2 scouts, they go on ready as well. They've got some obscured shots at the Orks trying to make their way around underneath the gantry. So the Orks have the initiative. Doesn't sound right, but it's true. The Orks do have the initiative. So they will shoot first on one of their triggered units. So the heavy looter is going to fire, and he's played a stratagem, or a tactic as they're called in this game, to help him out. It's the heavy one, so he's going to fire an extra shot out of his def gun, so it's going to be D3 plus 1. But what is he shooting at first, because you haven't elected a sergeant target? So it's going to be the plane intercessor. So D3 plus 1 shots out of this, gets a 3, so that's a 2 plus the 1 because of the tactic in play. So he's hitting on 5s, sorry, he's hitting on 6s because I'm in cover. So he completely missed. You wouldn't expect a lot of that from the Orks this game, because it's incredibly hard for them, but they've got a lot of shots. But no, not to be. Alright, so we're going to fire this intercessor. Actually, we'll do this one first. He's the combat specialist. We're going to shoot at... Actually, no, we'll do this guy first. And he will shoot at the war boss, or the knob leader. Just see him behind the pipe there. So we're at close range, and he is obscured, so we're hitting on 4s with the bolt rifle. We've hit once, needs a 4 to wound. We don't get a wound. Right, so over to the Orks. That's next to shoot.
Okay, so we're going to fire sniper.
Alright, so the sniper, big shooter, upon high, what's he going to shoot at?
Just going to fire at this one.
There's the second guy in the rank. So he's the combat specialist, but doesn't find the mark. He can reroll 1s because he's a sniper, but he fails anyway. Right, so the guy who shot at, he's going to return fire, but not at the same target. He's going to fire at that Ork in the open. So we'll be hitting on 3s at this range. We got both hits, needing 4s. We get them both. Right, so he's down to 0 wounds, which means we're doing injury roll. On a 4+, he's out of action. He's out of action. Okay, so 1 Ork down there. There's another 15 to go. So the Orks will open fire now. It's the regular big shooter. He's going to fire down at the scouts. They are concealed, but they're next up to fire, so he wants to try and take one of them out. So 6s to hit with a big shooter. It's a big ass for the Orks, but they make 1. That was spinning on a 6. Needs a 3 to wound, gets a 1.
Command reroll.
Thought so. Command reroll. Gets it on a 4. Right, so we need to save on a 4 with a scout. We do not. Do we want to command reroll that ourselves? I think so. We're going to command reroll that because we need our boys to stay alive here. Yep, he's okay. So down to 1 command point each now. Okay, correction. The Ultramarines are down to 1 command point. The Orks have used 2. They used that reroll, and then they used that heavy tactic earlier on. So it's back over to the Ultramarines. So we're going to fire these 2. So we'll fire this guy first. Actually, we'll fire this guy first. He's going to fire at the Ork through the middle there, so we're going to have to check the range. Okay, we just measured again. We're well within 12. So this scout, we're actually going to change target. We're going to fire at the grot in the open, because every one killed puts us further towards trying to break the orc. So hitting on 3s, because he's out in the open, we'll get 2. 2's to wound, both wound. Right, so on the grot, on a 4+, he's out of action because he's not concealed. He's out of action as well. So 2 down, 14 to go. Okay, so the Orks don't have any more priority shooters, so it's just going to be the Ultramarines taking over here. So we're going to have the Demolitions Expert. He's going to fire now. He's going to fire down at the boss knob. He's slightly obscured, but that's good for the Demolitions guy because he gets a +1 to wound. That's his natural ability. So we'll be hitting on 4s, however, because he is obscured. We get both hits, 4s to wound. We get 1 wound. So you need to save on a 5 probably if you've got hard armor.
No.
Okay, we'll just double check just in case, but he doesn't have hard armor, the boss knob. He's just got the squig hide armor, so just goes straight through that at AP -1, so he's taking a wound. Okay, so the boss knob behind the hemotrope reactor is taking a wound. So just while we're on the subject of wounds, if you see a white dice next to a model, that means it's a wound, and that's how many wounds he's taken in the game. If it's a red dice, that's how many wounds how many flesh wounds they've taken. So just for further reference in case anyone wants to know. Right, back on with the priority shooting then. So we've got this scout, he's going to fire at the orc boy through the window there. So he's is within right of fire range, and we're hitting on 4s at this range. We get 2 hits, good shooting from the Ultramarines. So he's wounding on, being wounded on 4s, it's 2 wounds, 6 is to save for that orc in the window. And no, right, so we've got 1. He's reduced to 0 wounds, so it's 1 injury roll for him. It's a 5, he's out of action as well. The orcs are dropping like flies. So all the priority shooters have shot, so it's now on to basic shooters. The orcs have the initiative, so the boss knob, he's going to shoot at the combat specialist here. So he's at a -1 because I'm behind the pipe, so he's going to need 6s, a double 5. Normally the orcs like that sort of thing, but not here. Right, so the Ultramarines will go next. We're going to fire the sniper, and he's going to have a go down at the boss knob as well. So he's not in cover, he's totally exposed to the sniper. So we're going to get 2 shots from that range, hitting on 3s. Both hit, 4s to wound. Savage stuff. We'll put another wound on him, and again, no armor save. So that's his last wound, he's taken down to 0 wounds now. Onto the injury roll. This could be catastrophic early stuff. No, it's just a flesh wound. Can't be re-rolled because we've already used a tactical re-roll in this phase to keep the scout alive. So he's came away there, he's taken a 1 flesh wound. Right, we'll hand over back to the orc. So it's this far boy, he's going to shoot on the combat specialist, needing 6s at this range. Doesn't get it. Right, the Ultramarines have 1 more guy to return fire. It's the sergeant. He hasn't really got that much on offer except the boy over there next to that barrel. So we're going to shoot at him. It is at long range, so we're going to be hitting on a 5. No, right. So back over to the orcs, and that's all the Ultramarines shot anyway. So another miss from the orcs there. Okay, we're back over here. The grot, he's going to open fire with his basically a blunderbuss. This closest guy's going to need 6s at that range, and because I'm concealed, misses. Right, just got some orcs. He can't fire because he advanced. It's just this one to fire, I think. Scout. And then there's some down there. So he's going to have a go at the scout.
It's in the open.
Okay, scout in the open. So it's going to be 6s to hit still because you're at a long range. Okay, so we've got the surgeon now. He's going to fire up at the sniper intercessor, so he's needing 6s to hit. He does get 1. 4s to wound. Turns out to be 1 in the end.
And the other guy here with the slugger.
Yeah, he's got a slugger, the same guy. He's rolled a 1 as well. So, yeah, this is what you can expect from the orcs. Not good shooting at all. There's 1 more grot. He needs a 6. No. Gets a 5. Normally respectable, but not today. Alright, so that's the end of all the shooting. So the boss knob would normally take a nerve test here, but we're not going to bother because he's got support of 4 other models, which means no matter what he rolled on the dice, he'll be okay and he'll pass his test. So that is the end of the first battle round. Alright, so to begin the battle round 2, so we've got to roll for initiative, and the Orks have already confessed that they're not feeling confident about this. Hitting on 6s, it's not funny. So here we go, who gets the initiative? So the Orks get a 3, and the Ultramarines get a 5. So we will move first. Right, Ultramarines moving, and going to concede some ground here, because if we just stood our ground and went on ready, the Orks would probably charge us and negate our ready. So we're going to just step back with 2 of these guys. The sergeant's on ready for anyone who's going to come flying around the corner. The scouts are taking a step to the side, try and get cleaner shots on the Orks in the centre. The 2 specialists up top there, ready up. Right, the Orks reacting to the Ultramarines. So again, we've got the specialists up top here, or at least the 2 of them, and the normal guy have readied up for the Orks. I've got these 2 readied up as well. Majority are readied up there. It's just that one Grot has stepped forward. He's just trying to block all lines of sight of those 3 intercessors there. He doesn't fancy it, but the field of fire is still open for those intercessors on top. Okay, there's the 2 intercessors up top there, pinning those Orks down, it seems. This guy stays still, readies up, and this Ork moves forward, so he's concealed now. Nobody can see him. He's ready to mount a sneaky attack on these scouts in future rounds, so could be a commando in training, that boy. Alright, so before we go into the shooting phase, the Orks are going to play a special stratagem for themselves. It's Grot Shield, so it's 2 command points, so he's got none left for this round. The boss knob, he's going to hold up his scrapper, the Grot that led him into this situation anyway. He's going to hold him up, Scarper, that's his name. He's going to hold him up as a meat shield and try and absorb any shots that come in. So basically what it means is if we shoot at the war boss, the attacks are resolved on the Gretchen instead. Okay, so we're going to open up fire with the sniper, and what he's going to do is he can split fire, so he's got 2 shots at this range. So we're going to put 1 shot on the Grot meat shield, try and take him out with just a well placed shot, and then the next shot is going to go on to the boy there, because they are within 2 inches of each other. That's how you can split your shots up. So the first shot on the Grot hits on a 3, gets it. Then the second shot on the boy gets him as well, because there's no cover in the way. So on the Grot, needs a 2 to take that Grot out of there, gets it. So the Grot's dead, the meat shield's gone, and then the normal boy, actually no, he's not gone yet. We need to roll on the injury roll. So on a 4+, the Grot is out of action. No, the Grot takes a flesh wound. That's pretty insulting. And then the boy, there's no armor save for him. So the boy out in the open, there's no armor save for him. All we need to do is wound him on a 4. We don't do it. We're going to command point reroll. We've got enough to do that sort of thing. Right, we do wound him. No armor save, so straight to injury roll. And the 4+, he's out there. He's gone. Okay, so he's gone now. There's 4 Orks down. And it's now for the Orks priority shooter, so they've got 3 up top and 2 down there. Right, the Orks are going to fire up the def cannon from the looter. He's going to shoot into this readied specialist here, so he's getting D3 shots. It's the full 3, but he's going to need 6s to hit because we are in cover. Gets 2 1s and a 6, so he has hit. It's strength 7, needing a 3 to wound. Gets that wound. Right, we're saving on a 4, and we've already used our command point reroll, so we can't use it in this phase again, and it's 2 damage, a def gun. This is terrifying stuff. On a 4+. Oh, failed. Right, there's 2 wounds. He's reduced to 0, so it's a roll on the flesh wound table. On a 4+, he's out of there, but because it's damage 2, you roll 2 dice and pick the best, so he's needing over a 4 here. Take this intercessor out. Gets a 6. The demolitions expert goes down with a big crash. Okay, the Ultramarines to return fire. We're going to have the intercessor sergeant. He's going to fire at that Ork again. He's the only one you can see really. So at long range, and he's concealed, so 5s to hit. We miss. So it's back over to the Orks for their priority shooting. And it's going to be the specialist with the big shooter, the sniper?
Yeah, sniper.
Alright, so what's he shooting?
He's going to go for him.
Alright, so he's going to go for the sniper specialist. He's needing 6s to hit. Gets 1, 3s to wound. Gets a wound, so the specialist is doing well for the Orks now. 7 on a 3, there's no AP. He failed the save anyway, so he's taken a wound. Okay, he's coming under fire again. The second big shooter, he's just a plain Ork. He's going to fire at him. So 6s, no, he's missed them all. And now it's back onto non-priority shooters.
No.
Oh sorry, no, there's 2 more Orks at the back there, they're ready. So which one's going to fire first? Okay, so the nearest, he gets a hit. Needs a 4, doesn't get it, right. Next Ork, he does get a hit, needs a 4, he does get it this time, right. Needing 3 to save, do get it, right. So we start the save now. It's getting worrying for a second. Almost forgot the cluster of Orks there. They've all of them but a grot has been readied. So we've got a grot blaster coming up at the specialist needing a 6, doesn't get it. And then we've got a shooter from the medic, and he's missed. And then we've got the boss needing 6s as well. He gets a 1 and a 2. Alright, close calls there. Right, last Ork to shoot, this guy down here. He's going to fire up at the sniper, and he's only rolled a 3 and a 4, so no good from him. Right, so it will be the Ultramarines to return fire now. Right, so we've got the scouts. So we're going to fire 1 scout into the grot with a flesh wound. We are close range. Needing 3, so we'll get them. 2s to wound the grot. We're going to get 1, and it's straight onto the flesh wound table. So we'll get a +1 to the dice because he has already taken a flesh wound. So he's out of there on a 3 because we get a +1 to the dice, making that a 4. So 1 grot down there, and then we're going to fire the second sniper. He's going to fire at the medic. Actually no, we'll fire at the grot because he's going to be nearer. So we'll get 1 hit. We do wound that grot, so there's no save for him. So again on a 4+, he's out of action, and he is out of action. Okay, so it's the end of the battle round. We're on to the morale phase. So the Orks are not going to break just yet. 1 more model and they're going to have to start worrying about that. The Orks have lost 6 Orks so far, and the boss has still got his flesh wound, so he has to roll for being shaken, and because they've lost 6 Orks, that's a +6 to the dice roll, but he's got a -1 because he's got 1 guy in support. So effectively he's at a +5 to this dice roll, so it's nervous stuff for the Orks here. The roll of 3 + 5 is an 8. That means his leadership 7. He's blown it. He's shaken. He gets a shaken token, but what that means is he can't do anything for this next battle round. He just stands there. Right, it's a tense moment here. The Orks could just fold, but they've done well by taking out one of the specialists. If they can just keep that up, they might still be in the game. So we need to roll for turn 3 initiative. So the Orks get a 7, Ultramarines get a 4. Right, so the Orks will get the initiative this turn. They're going to have to make some big moves here to try and pull the game back. They've lost a lot of boys. They're in the open, and there's still another turn to go. So just to remind us that the boss is shaken. He cannot do anything this battle round. Right, Orks movement with the initiative. All the boys on top, they go ready, so they're ready to shoot. He stays ready as well, this guy in the corner. The medic, he takes a step back behind the boxes. He's seen what happened to all the boys, and his loyalty's questionable. He's moved away from the knob. The knob isn't liking what he sees there. We've still got these guys behind the pipe here. They're still readied. So Orks looking for another shooting phase. They want it to be the best one so far. First round wasn't good. Second round a little bit better. Hopefully they're winding up to a big one here. Ultramarines respond. So we've got the 2 intercessors. They step forward towards the pipe. We're looking for shots on the warlord again, if he survives the shots from the scouts, because they've gone forward as well, just behind that strut. We're going to try and take some more Orks down. If we can just get 1, that'll force the break test. The sergeant, he stepped back just a couple of inches, or maybe it's even just 1 inch. He's just staying out of sight of that looter in the distance with the hematope reactor because of the angle. We don't want to get shot by that def gun. It's proved itself to be deadly against intercessors. And then this sniper, he goes ready, so he's ready to shoot. He's probably going to be public enemy number 1 in this orc shooting gallery. Alright, the looter is cranking the handle on his looter gun, on his def gun. He's ready to shoot, so he's going to fire at both the sniper, not the snipers, they're just the scout. He's going to see how many shots he gets and divide them up from there. So he's going to get 2 shots, but he has played the special orc stratagem. Is it dagger? Gives him an extra shot, so that 2 turns out to be 3. So how many are you putting on each scout here? You're putting 2 on him and 2 on him?
Yeah, 2 on...
2 on the front,
yeah.
1 on the back. Okay, so the misses on the front one, needs a 6 on the next one. No, right, so the def gun isn't up to scratch this round. It's deadly stuff last round. So we've got our sniper to try and respond with, and I think we might just try and take out the war boss. Just clean shot here. So hitting on 3s, and what we're going to do is we're going to play careful aim. So it's our stratagem for the sniper. It's 1 command point, gives us a +1 to hit. So now +1 to hit, and a reroll 1s. So it should be a clean sweep. So yeah, 2 hits, 4s to wound this war boss. In fact, it's a boss knob, it's not a war boss. There's 2 solid blows, right? So that'll do. So on a 4+, he goes out of action. But in fact, we get a +1 to the dice roll, or yeah, +1 to the dice roll because he's already taken a flesh wound. Okay, we just did a double check just in case we get any more additional pluses because he's shaken, but we don't. It's just if he's taking flesh wounds. So just a +1 to the dice roll. On a 3+, he's going down. It's a 4. War boss bites the dust. The sniper gets his man, blows a hole through his cranium. Okay, so the Ultramarines don't have any more readied shooters left, so we're just going to go around all the orc shooters. So we've got this boy. He's going to fire at the closest here. He gets 1 hit. He does get a wound, right? We're saving on a 3. We don't save, we're going to command point reroll. Yeah, we save it, right? So we're down 2 command points. We've got a lot of command points. Nothing to do with him. So he's missed. And then the big shooter sniper, what's he going to have a go at? Is he going to have a go at the Ultramarine sniper?
We'll do this guy at the back there first, with his slugger.
This guy. Right, so he has got a shot. He's been readied. He can shoot at this scout, so he's going to hit on not a 2.
This guy here at scouts.
Okay, we've got this boy here. He's hanging out in the end. He's missed on a double 5. Okay, so we've just double checked this sniper here. He's out in the open to the boy there, and he is within 9, so 5s will work. So he's got a double hit there. 4's to wound. Gets a single wound, so we're still on a 4 with the scout. Don't do it, right? Injury roll. A 4+. It's a 1.
Command reroll.
Right, he gets it with a command reroll. The scout goes down. So we've lost 2 models now in the Ultramarines. Right, this scout's going to come under fire from the plain big shooter up top. He's going to have a go. 6s. He gets 2 hits. Right, the Orks have brought the shooting shoes this time. 2 wounds as well. Here we've got pass 1, fail 1. So a 4+. Actually, it's a 5+ because I've got cover there. So on a 5+, he's going out of action. It's a 6. He's going out of action. Right, well, Ultramarines are dropping like flies now. And then there's still the sniper big shooter to fire. What's he going to shoot at?
He's going to have a go at these.
Right, he's going to have a go at the combat specialist. So he needs 6s to hit. And he gets 1 hit. Needs a 3. He gets it. Oh dear. Right, need to save on a 3. We get it. Right, save it. And then there's 2 orcs behind this pipe here. So the first one, he misses. On the second one, gets a single hit. Does not wound. In fact, I think we might have already shot them, but they didn't hit anyway, so it doesn't matter, just in case. It's hard to keep track when you're filming and doing a new game. So, right, back to the non-priority shooters. So I do have this orc. He's got a shooter. Who's he going to have a go at?
He's going to shoot him.
Right, the sniper is going to take these shots. So he needs 6s. He does get 1. And fails to wound on a 2. Alright, well this has been a devastating round.
Got a command point.
You can't re-roll it because you've already used a re-roll. Alright, and so Ultramarines, they're going to shoot now. We're going to have to take out these specialists up top. It's just devastating. Right, so we're going to fire this guy. He's going to fire up at the sniper. No, we're going to fire him at the looter. They've got the same profile basically. So the first one, he's at long range, so we're hitting on a 5 when he's in cover as well. We've missed, and then the second guy needs a 5. He does hit him. He needs a 4 to wound. We don't wound. Right, the intercessor, the sergeant, he's going to fire at the medic. Needs a 5 as well. No, it doesn't do it. Alright, it's a different scene now. Right, it's been tragic for the Ultramarines. Couldn't kill an Ork, and we've lost 2 guys, which means they don't have to take a break test. Luckily, the Ultramarines don't have to either, but if they suffer another casualty, they might have to start worrying about that as well. Nobody with flesh wounds to try and take nerve tests with, so we're going to roll straight into the 4th turn, which could potentially be the last turn, so it might have to be a scramble for the objectives here. Okay, so turn 4, we're going to need to do the initiative roll, who takes it, right? So the Ultramarines get a 3, and the Orks get a 8. So the Orks will, again, steal this round. Okay, turn 4, it could be the last turn, and what it's turned out to be is pretty good for the Orks, because they did not take any break tests. They're looking in good shape, they've got the men, and they've got the objectives, they've moved out. So all 3 specialists have dropped down, or 2 specialists rather. The basic guy, he's gone down here. The looter's gone down just to take the objective, and so is the other one. The looter, because he's a heavy, he can still shoot unimpeded, because he's got the heavy combat specialist. This Ork, he just goes over there, so he's just moved, so he can still fire, and he's taken that objective. And then the medic from behind the crates there, he's ran all the way down here, he's taken this objective, as well as this Ork who was there, he's moved over to the objective as well. The 2 Orks break cover over here, and they've ran forward to get this objective. So the Orks are on all the objectives. If the game does end, it just means they've won. So I think the Ultramarines, the only thing they can do here is just try and break them. That's the only way the Ultramarines could possibly take this game home. Ultramarines moving, we're trying to respond the best we can here. This guy stays still, so we'll ready him up. The combat specialist, he charges this Ork, doesn't take any damage in the Overwatch, and the sergeant, he just has to step over here to get clean shots on these Orks. He's too far for a charge, so he's going to have to get it done with his bolt rifle. And then the sniper, he's just taking a step forward right to the edge there, because we'd need to try and shoot that Ork on that objective as well. So if we kill some Orks, we might be able to force a break test, and that might be our way back in the game. So it's the Orks to shoot first, but they do not have any priority shooters because they've all advanced pretty much and moved. So it's just this guy to shoot first, and he's going to shoot this Ork first, I think. Or should we shoot the big shooter at the back? No, we'll shoot this Ork first because he's the nearest. We need the kills. So we're going to hit on 3s. We get 2 hits, 4s to wound. Nothing. Oh dear. We're going to have to command point reroll, I think. Yeah, we're going to command point reroll because we need the kills on a 4+. Right, we do get him. No armor save because it's AP -1. So on a 4+, he's going out of action. Right, he's out of action. There's 1 Ork down. That's the Ork that we needed. The break test is now on. Could happen. Right, so we've got the Orks to shoot their non-priority shooters now. So who's going to shoot first?
Disco.
He's getting 3 shots, but what's he firing at?
Can't shoot at this one.
No, so he's going for him, or he can go for the sniper.
He's going to go for this guy, son.
Okay, he's going for the sergeant. 3 shots, needing 6s. Doesn't get any. Right, the Ultramarines return fire. We're going to fire the sergeant into that Ork because he still can fire with that slugger. So we've got 3s to hit. Get 2 hits. Needs 4s. get 1. So again, no armor save because AP -1. So straight onto the injury roll on a 4+. No, he's taking a flesh wound. So again, flesh wounds are the little red dice. So he's fired. So back over to the Orks for a shot. Who's shooting now?
Okay, so he's a sniper.
Right, the sniper big shooter. What's he firing at? He's going for this guy in the wing here. Gets 1 hit. Needs a 3. Doesn't do it. Right, we're going to return fire with sniper guy here. We're going to fire at, I think we might just try and take out that looter because he's right in the shop window there. Doesn't look obscure to me, so we're hitting on, we're going to play a stratagem, give us a +1 to hit, so we're hitting on 2s at this range because we are in close range, and rerolling 1s to hit. So we do hit because of that tactic that we just played for the sniper level 1. 4s to wound against the looter. Don't get any. Looter comes away scot-free, and we're going to have to have a lay of the land here, see what's ready to fire. Right, we've got a big shooter in the corner there. He's going to fire all the way over to here, past the hematope reactor, so he needs 6s. No. Right, the Ultramarines have fired all their shooters, so it's just left to the Orks to fire off whoever they've got left. So they have got a slugger here from this boy to shoot at the sergeant. He's at a -1 because he's taking a flesh wound, so he needs a 6. Gets a 1, not good enough. Right, I think, is that all the shooters? No, we've got a guy down at the barrels here. Almost forgot the Orks have assault weapons, so the medic, he's going to shoot over here, and he needed 6s, but he doesn't get it.
This one, sergeant. If I can see him.
So the guy down there, I'm going to have to get the eyeball down. Don't think you can see the sergeant, so it's probably going to have to go up with the sniper.
Yep.
So 6s, gets 1, doesn't wound.
Let's go for the command reroll.
Right, commander reroll.
No.
No. Right, so it's on to fights now. So the chargers would go first, but the Orks are playing decisive strike. So this Ork, 2 command points to do. He's going to fight first against this intercessor before he's got a chance. So he does get 1 hit, needs a 4, doesn't do it. Right, intercessor, he's the combat specialist, so he gets an extra attack. So we've got 3 attacks against this Ork, 3s to hit. Get the wall, 4s to wound. We get 1, and we're going to command point reroll to wound. Or should we save that command? We're going to save that command point reroll for the injury roll. So you need to save on a 6 because there's no AP for this. Doesn't get it. Right, that was nerve-wracking stuff. So on a 4+, that Ork goes out of action. He doesn't. That's what we're going to use our command point reroll for, to try and boost this up. Oh, it's even worse. Just a flesh wound for that Ork. He's not dead, and he's contesting that objective now. Okay, so we're coming to the end of turn 4 here. Now it's interesting because the Ultramarines could win this just based on a dice roll, and because that's what the mission requires, the Orks could potentially go broken here. They've lost the leader, the only leadership 6. They've lost 8 Orks and 2 have flesh wounds, which is going to force them to take a break test. So 2 dice. If they get over a 6, the Ultramarines win and the game's over instantly. It's only a 3. The game will continue just because they're not broken. So it's now time for nerve tests. So this Ork is going to automatically fail because you've lost 8. So he's stunned. This Ork, he's automatically stunned as well because you've lost 8. There's no way you can come back to the fight in this round. Alright, we're going to see if we end here on turn 4. This is a crucial roll. We've just done the scores to see where we're at, to see what kind of crucial roll this will be, and it will be crucial. The Orks have got this objective, and this objective, because they've still got the medic on there. The sergeant isn't close enough to the objective to take it. So they've got 3 objectives, and they're worth 3 each, so that's 9 points there. And then they've killed 3 of the Ultramarines. There's an extra 3, so they're on 12 points, the Orks. The Ultramarines have killed, in the corner there, if we can see, 8 Orks. And then they're holding this objective because shaken models don't count. And the Ork is shaken on that one. So the Ultramarines are on 11, so it's 12-11 to the Orks, and they'll win if the game doesn't continue. But the game will continue on a 3+. It's a 2, the game ends, and the Orks come away with the victory.
Whoa!
Who would have thought it was looking terrible situation in the first couple of turns, and then they just hung in there and did. Right, so I mean, we've played through all of the missions before we started recording, and so we've got a good grip of the game now. Really impressed with Kill Team. It's probably more fun than the actual 8th edition game. Hope 8th edition becomes this good, to be honest. Really enjoying Kill Team, so Games Workshop need to give themselves a pat on the back.